Hi, I'm Rebecca Lyons. Welcome to Jesus Speaks in the Book of Mormon and in Dreams. So today we are reading from the book, The Gospel of the Beloved Companion, the Complete Gospel of Mary Magdalene by Jehan de Quillen. So we're going to start where we left off yesterday. So if you haven't watched this before, this is the Gospel according to Mary Magdalene. And we get to see Jesus through the eyes of Mary, and we get to experience Jesus through the heart of Mary. And we get to hear the story of Jesus through the ears of Mary. So, and Mary was his beloved companion, his favorite disciple, and his beloved wife. So we're in a really, really hard and sad part right now. Jesus has already had the Last Supper. He's already gone to the Garden of Gethsemane. And right now he's being brought before Pilate. And we just read about Pilate was seeking to release Yeshua. But the people cried out saying, "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar. Everyone who makes himself a king speaks against Caesar." And when Pilate had heard these words, Pilate brought Yeshua, or Jesus, out and sat down on the judgment seat at a place called Gabbatha. Now it was the preparation day of the Pesach at about the 6th hour, and he said to the people, "Behold your king." Then the Jews, they all cried out, "Away with him! Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him." Pilate said to them, "Shall I crucify your king?" The chief priest answered, "We have no king but Caesar's." So the Jews wanted Jesus dead, and they wanted him crucified. They wanted the Son of God to be killed and murdered and crucified. So wrong. So sad. So then Pilate delivered Yeshua, Jesus, to them to be crucified. So they took Yeshua and led him away. He went out, bearing his cross, to the place called Golgotha, where they crucified him, and with two others, one on either side, and Yeshua in the middle. Pilate wrote a title also and put it on the cross. There was written, "Yeshua the Nazarene, the King of Israel." Therefore, many of the people read this title, for the place where Yeshua was crucified was near the city. It was written in Hebrew and in Latin and in Greek. The chief priest therefore said to Pilate, "Do not write the King of Israel." But he said, "Write, I am King of Israel." Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written." But there were standing by the cross of Yeshua his mother and his mother's sister, Miriam, the wife of Cleopas, and Miriam, the beloved companion, who was the wife of Yeshua, the wife of Jesus, and also called the Magdala. Therefore, when Yeshua, or Jesus, saw his mother and the beloved companion whom he beloved standing there, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the beloved companion, Mary, "Woman, behold your mother." From that hour, the beloved companion took her onto her own. So meaning Mary took in Jesus's mother, Mary, as her own mother. Because Jesus said to Mary, his wife, "Woman, behold your mother." And then from that very hour, Mary Magdalene, her beloved companion of Jesus, took Mary, Jesus's mother, onto her own, or as her own mother. After this, Yeshua, Jesus said, "I am thirsty." Now a vessel full of vinegar was set there, so they put a sponge full of the vinegar and the hyssop and held it at Yeshua's mouth. When Yeshua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished," and he bowed his head. And one of the soldiers, hearing this, pierced Yeshua's side with a spear. Immediately blood and water came out. After these things, Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Yeshua, or Jesus, but secretly for fear of the Pharisees, asked of Pilate that he might take away the body of Yeshua, Jesus. Pilate gave him permission, and he came therefore and took away Yeshua's body. Nicodemus, who at first came to Yeshua by night, also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100 Roman pounds. Then Miriam the Magdala, or Mary Magdalene, and Miriam, the mother of Jacob, Joseph, and Salome, took the body of Yeshua, or Jesus, and prepared it and bound it up in linen cloths with the spices, as was the burial custom required, in the place where Jesus was crucified. there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb in which no man had ever yet been laid. Then because of the preparation day, for the tomb was near at hand, they laid Yeshua there. Now on the first day of the week, Miriam the Magdala went early while it was still dark to the tomb and saw the stone taken away from the entrance. Stooping and looking in, she saw that the tomb was empty and the linen cloths were scattered where the body had been lain. Yet she did not enter in, but remained standing outside the tomb, weeping and hearing a noise. She turned around and saw a figure standing close by. Because of her weeping, she did not know that it was Yeshua. Then Yeshua, or Jesus, said to Mary Magdalene, "Woman, why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?" So in the Bible, it says, "Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou?" So why are you crying and weeping? Who are you seeking? Who are you looking for? So right here it says, why? Then Joshua, or Jesus, said to Mary, "Woman, why are you weeping? And who are you looking for?" So Mary, supposing Yeshua, or Jesus, to the gardener, she said to him, "Sir." So in the Bible it says, "Sir, if thou hast borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away." Meaning "Sir, if you know where his body is, tell me where his body is, and I will take his body, and I will put his body back in this tomb where it belongs," is what she's saying. Right here it says, Mary said to the gardener, which is really Jesus, "Sir, if you or another have carried him away, tell me where he is laid, and I will go and take him away." Yeshua said to her, "Miriam," or Mary. She turned and overcome with joy, she said to him, "Rabboni." She recognized him and she realized it was Jesus. Yeshua, or Jesus, said to her, "Miriam," or Mary. "Do not hold on to me, for I am not yet of the flesh, neither am I one with the Spirit. But rather go to my disciples and tell them that you have seen me, so that all may know that my words are true, and that any who should choose to believe them and keep my commandments will follow me on their last day." So he's saying, go and tell your brethren that I have been resurrected, and that I'm going to ascend to my Father and to your Father and to my God and your God. He hadn't even been to my Father yet, and that's why he said, "Touch me not," because he hadn't even been ascended and been back to his Father yet. And the Magdala, or Mary the Magdalene, therefore returned unto her own, and there in that place were gathered Martha her sister, and her brother Eleazar, who's Lazarus her brother, whom Yeshua had restored back to life. Yeshua brought him back to life. He raised him from the dead. And Miriam, the mother of Jacob, Joseph, and Salome. With them was also Toma, who is called the twin. It never says who Toma is a twin of. Who is he a twin of? Was he a twin of Jesus? Was he a twin of one of the disciples? Who was this Toma a twin of? It doesn't say. It makes you wonder, who is Toma the twin? It's a mystery. We don't know. And Joseph of Arimathea, who had asked Pilate for the body of Yeshua, and Nicodemus, who at first came to Yeshua by night, and who had brought spices for his burial. Also there were the disciples Levi, whom some have called Matthew, and Joanna, and the other Salome, to whom Yeshua had spoken with at the well of Jacob. And the Magdala, so Mary Magdalene, or Miriam the Magdala, told the disciples that she had seen Yeshua, and that he had said these things to her, and they knew the truth of her, and were all filled with a great joy, and they believed her. So they believed her right here, that she was telling them the truth, and that she really had seen Jesus. In the Bible, they don't believe her. So I'm glad they did believe her. In this account, they believe her, and that's Mary telling us that. Then they sent messengers to tell the other disciples what Miriam the Magdala, or Mary Magdalene, had witnessed. But it was many days before they returned to Bethany, as being in fear of the priests and the Pharisees, all had fled the city, each back to his own. In this way, they had fulfilled the prophecy that Yeshua, or Jesus, had spoken when he said to them, "Do you now believe? Behold, the time is coming, and has now come, that you will be scattered, every one to his own, and you will leave me all alone but one." And who is the one that never left Jesus all alone? Who was the one that stood by Jesus? Who was there when he's crucified? Who was there right now at the very early in the morning at his tomb? Mary is the one that never left Jesus. She was there all along. She never left him all alone. She was with him through thick and thin, through everything he went through. She never denied him. She never left him alone. She was there with him until the very second he died. So makes me love Mary so much more. anyway, I'm excited to see you in the chapter tomorrow. That was a really, really sad chapter. And then we'll read tomorrow more about Jesus after he's resurrected and after he visits his disciples tomorrow.